Alright, as you can see, we are outside of the normal studio shooting for this video, and in fact we are out in my garage, and sitting behind me is something that I am also extremely passionate about, and I wanted to use this setting in a real life example of how the universes within and this modern design for Magic the Gathering product is just not cutting it. I am the real life example of how these sets have tried to pull me in and have failed to do so, and luckily I'm already an entrenched Magic fan, so it hasn't mattered. But I think this is a discussion that warrants having. So if you like conversations like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below because it helps a small channel like mine more than you can possibly imagine. Make sure to hit the like button while you're down there, and if you want to support further, the channel membership button is just a click away. It's $5 a month. You get access to exclusive content, early videos, and deals on box openings when I do that. But enough of that. Let's talk about modern Magic the Gathering design. So, for those who are unaware, Magic has taken a turn. In fact, more often than not, we find Magic products are just Magic characters in a certain theme, or Magic characters wearing cowboy hats, or most recently, Magic characters racing vehicles, racing cars. And this idea of pulling away from the core storyline of Magic the Gathering and just using Magic the Gathering, its setting and its characters to try to pull in interest from various sources is admittedly failing as far as effectiveness goes. Now, this is not to be confused with Universes Beyond. We've had the Universes Beyond discussion over and over again on the channel, and it's something that, while if it were up to me it wouldn't exist, it's extremely successful. But looking at recent Magic the Gathering history, we see Magic with hats or Magic in cars in the sense of Karlov Manor, Outlaws of Thunder Junction, to an extent Duskmourn, and yeah, recently even Aether Drift. But most of those sets pale in comparison to Magic the Gathering designed as Magic the Gathering as we know it. Things like Bloomburrow, Ixalan, and the upcoming Dragonstorm Tarkir set are almost instantly more interesting. And it made me realize when we were getting Aether Drift, a car-themed Magic the Gathering product, that this just doesn't work. As someone who has spent a large amount of their life fixing up old cars, being interested in trying to buy different cars and have different driving experiences, and this is something you guys don't know about me, so let me know in the comment section below if that surprises you. But I will say, this didn't pull me into the Magic set at all. And then I tried to reach out to some friends, some fans, and some other notable creators and ask, hey, are you into 80s horror movies? Are you into detective noir and themes like that, or cowboys and westerns? And while some people had some crossing interests, it in no way drove them to be more engaged with a Magic product, whether it be Aether Drift, Outlaws, Karlov Manor, whatever it may be. And we are losing something in this model. It's not just Magic the Gathering is being produced and showing, here's a car set, here's a detective hat set. What we're losing here is more opportunities to be Lost Caverns of Ixalan. We're losing more opportunities to be Bloomburrow. We're losing more opportunities to be what will be Tarkir. I'm very high on that set. Even Foundations, it's been the most magical set I've called. It will be the most magical set of the year by far because it truly is just Magic at its most magical. And by losing out on this, we are becoming more of a disjointed fan base. And the old saying seems to ring more and more true these days than ever. The idea of buy what you want when you want it and skip the sets that don't interest you. And for the most part, I actually truly believe in that mantra, especially the way our community interacts with Magic, how everyone is playing casually, everyone's playing Commander, and while yeah, the hardcore fans like us that are making YouTube videos, watching YouTube videos, collecting cards, whatever it might be, are just all in, baby, the majority of the fans are just kind of coming and going as they please, as they see something that interests them, their friends, their play group, or, pulls them aside. But it does seem that this is not pulling anyone aside in any strong fashion. I have had no YouTube comments saying, hey, I really just like cowboy hats, I like westerns, I like detective noir, and for me personally, it really hit with Aether Drift. And I am convinced that over the long term, the idea of sacrificing these fluid Magic the Gathering stories, even if they're not great stories, even if it takes Wizards of the Coast a long time to rebuild the trust in that IP, sacrificing that in favor of trying to get a quick hitter now and now and now is going to prove not worth it. And looking back at the sales data, as you know, we collect every single sold listing of sealed product on TCG Player, it just goes to show the best sets that are not Universes Beyond are just magical Magic sets. We talked about Ixalan, we talked about Bloomburrow. Looking back as far as Wilds of Eldraine, even something like Brothers War sold incredibly well. March of the Machine that everyone was down on was extremely well selling. And all of this just says to me, as a community, we want Magic sets to be magical. And I'm not going to say, hey, Magic and detective hats and Magic Universes Beyond within, the idea of just like the Magic characters hopping from universe to universe and having these tiny adventures is the worst idea in the world. But as a core pillar of design for fans like you and I, it's kind of reared its ugly head and worn out its welcome, in my opinion. Now, that's not to say some things can't play a little nicer. And in fact, I think if you were to take some fantasy-laden storylines or some small storylines within the universe of Magic the Gathering and build sets around them, as we have completely abandoned the idea of the block structure and long-form storytelling, I think you'd still find a bit of the wonder and the mystique that is Magic the Gathering and the IP. But I won't sit here and say that the Magic IP is just where you need to be and bring everything back in. No, I think there needs to be care to rebuild that. I think these sets, if you're going to do them, should do something to further attempt to drive us back to the core Magic the Gathering IP. We should be, forced back into that linear, long-form storytelling that we became so accustomed to, and frankly, was so successful over the lifetime of the world's largest trading card game. I really do believe that, if anyone was going to be interested in a car set, I have owned, a ton of classic cars, none of them super nice. I fixed them all up. They're all kind of junkers, but I like the driving experience. And I've owned more than a dozen classic cars at this point. And even myself, when I saw a car set, I was just like, you know what, frankly, I don't care. Luckily, I'm a Magic fan. I love the gold foils. I think there's a ton of value in Aether Drift as far as the box topper, the gold foils. I think the gold lands, I know everyone just says they're P, but I think they're beautiful lands. I think there is more to these sets than we give them credit for, especially Aether Drift. But the theme, the motif, this magic in hats, this magic in costumes, this magic in cars or spaceships or whatever it might be, frankly, has worn out its welcome and is just not working. That's not saying those are bad sets or unfun to open. I would just love to see more Wilds of Eldraine, Throne of Eldraine, Ixalan, Zendikar, things like that. And maybe this is the Magic boomer in me. You can let me know in the comment section below if I'm just being a total boomer, but I believe that is a direction that yields longer, fuller success than trying to bring in people who have small outside interests. Now, there should always be something like that. I believe Secret Lair might be the perfect, I guess this is the secret sauce of this video. This is the special little cheese of this video. I think there's a perfect place for that, and Secret Lair could do wonders with something like that, because I think many Magic the Gathering players ask the question, do any of us have any outside interests? Well, of course we do. Magic the Gathering no longer dominates people's lives where it's the one thing that they do. We're in a community and a timeline of hobbies right now with everything at our fingertips. We can do anything at any given moment. And because of that, something like Secret Lair to explore what would Magic characters look like as detectives or cowboys or heck, driving 69 Impala SS's, that would be a really cool way to explore that space without polluting the core Magic the Gathering ecosystem as I want it to be. Now again, this is just a ranty video about the things that I want. You can let me know if you agree or disagree with me in the comment section below, but all in all, I would like to see a big shift. Thank you so much for watching. If you stuck around this long, I know this is going to be a little bit different of a video, so let me know what you think of this format. I'll try to do the best with the audio, but it's windy, it's the Midwest, it's winter. We'll end of winter out in a garage, so hey, we did our best. Thanks so much for hanging out. Until next time, you guys know me. My name is Josh, and we'll see you around. Okay, goodbye.